Welcome back to Monday night, fellas. Derek, Leon. Hey, had to get a new microphone. The other microphone that we had was insanely sensitive. I noticed when I was trying to edit video, you could hear ants farting in the backyard. So had to get a new microphone. Just tried to run some tests with Eric to see if he could hear everything, the background music. So let me know if you don't hear background music or if my voice is staticky or cutting out. At the same time, because we had to change some settings, some of the lighting maybe it got knocked over. Someone may have knocked it over. So if anything looks too dark or too light at any point, please let me know and I will adjust things. But if everything's looking good, then I guess moving on will be what I will say. So moving on, tonight, once again, for your viewing pleasure, I present to you the Project's TF2 K5 Blazer. Because I can't get enough of playing with the suspension on this, apparently. Woo! Get some shoulder in the camera for you there. So, when I left off of this last week, the front end was sitting up pretty high. I'm not sure how well this is going to be viewable in the camera. Well, actually, you know what? I can make it really viewable because I can do whatever I want with this camera, can't I? So, hopefully you'll be able to see some of this. It's not my best tweaking job, but if I hold it right, you should be able to see. So what I did with this hoop was I basically channeled it. Stay, camera. Stay. These suspension arm things. I put a little channel in it right there and drilled an extra hole. It's about 7 something millimeters higher, 6, I don't know, somewhere in there. Point being that now these crazy long shocks that I have to work with hopefully will sit in a little bit of a better position. They were just so long, or they are not work. They're still long. They didn't go away. That hasn't changed. So I'm going to be with that. See, now I'm smacking the mic. Thunk. All sorts of fun sounds going on tonight, whatever. Man, what are you guys up to? Anybody doing anything fun? Did I mill that myself? Milling is a wow, my voice is cracking again. I love early 40s puberty. Yes, I didn't really put it on a mill. I used a drill press with an end mill and a sliding vise, basically. So milling is probably an overly kind way to describe the hell that I put this little guy through. But yeah, I clearanced it myself. Nobody sells them or anything, if that's what you're getting at. I think I need to adjust where these lights are. I feel like I have a big shadow right here. I don't know what the best... Let me see. I want to make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I don't know if that makes things better. Can you guys tell what the parts are in here? Is this actually viewable? I mean, I know you can see it, but you know, I want to make sure it's actually distinguishable, the shock hoop from the frame. Of course, it may just be because everything's black. I guess that makes it hard to distinguish things, and it's not like I'm streaming in 4K because that's not cheap. Nobody got time for that either. 4K. Apparently now they have 8K? That's a thing? I don't even have 4K. I've still got a Mitsubishi DLP with the mirrors. I mean, we've got a nicer TV, but I'm just saying. Looks good at an angle. Okay, that's what I figured. I think it's hard to find contrast when you've got black and black. You know, in retrospect, maybe the fully polyurethane workbench, maybe I should have made it white. I don't know. I guess that wouldn't help distinguish black from black anyway. Plus, I like the wood look. So anyway, yeah, I'm hoping with these shock hoops to actually make some of my own in the long term. I think that these are perfectly sturdy, but yeah, I just, I can't leave well enough alone ever. So I'm planning on reutilizing the spacer that I had on there before. And again, since this was a second-hand truck, I guess I could bust out the instructions, but I don't have Eric here tonight. I don't have a wingman flying solo. So I'm not sure if this is a stock spacer that everyone has access to. I mean, obviously everyone has access to a spacer. I don't know if that came with the truck or not. I suspect that it did, because if it didn't, I really think the shocks would be just chewing into the chassis. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm going to try and do a better job of keeping up with comments tonight, but I can't promise anything. A gray worktop would help with contrast. Maybe an idea for a locked up RC work mat. Perhaps. Perhaps. Pick my brain about mills and machinist tools. Well, you are welcome to ask questions, but I can't promise that I'll have any better answer than you would be able to find on the Google A. Because Google A is a smart thing. It knows everything. Yeah, no wingman. That's okay. It is. I did enjoy having Eric here last week, because I feel like when I'm having to talk the whole time, I just start to ramble. I start to throw out a lot of ums. Nobody wants to hear that. It's not professional. I don't talk like that when I'm having a normal conversation with a person. I think subconsciously my brain knows that I'm trying to fill time or something, space, avoid awkward silences. But I guess that's part of the reason that I have the background music, so that I won't say all the time. Visible? Yeah, there you go. So one thing I kind of noticed when I was test fitting all of this, because these shocks are super long, I don't mind the swing. I mean, it's unavoidable. But I did notice that if this side is completely extended and this side compresses, you're going to see this shock just get angry. That's not good. So what's happening, see what had happened is, no, what's happening is the shock is hitting the chassis. There is a screw in here, so I may take the screw out and countersink with a flathead screw in there, just to give it a little more. And then I think I'm also going to add some spacers up in here, which I have two, but I'm gonna have to find some longer screws. What's up, Eric? What brand tools am I using? Welcome, Mike. I am using Locked Up RC brand tools. I don't leave home without them. Actually, that's all my other tools are in a different thing. Different container, whatever, which I went over last week. I think I went over that, didn't I? I went over all the bins. I don't know if I specifically called out what I actually keep in my trail tools container, but I think you guys probably can figure that out without listening to me. Yeah, you probably did hear Buster, Eric. You probably also hear Polly out back trying to scare away, I don't know, it's just loud. Dog. What can you do? Let's see. Oh, get out of there, Nut. Where'd you go? Oh no, there you are. There you are. me see. Let's see. What we got? Okay, so where was I? Sorry. Sidetracked. My daughter likes to text. Seriously, only when I'm doing this. This is the only time. Otherwise, I don't think she needs me. She wants to have a Halloween party. Yeah. And she wants to go to what's supposedly the scariest haunted house in town. But then I found one that someone else is scarier, and she's just like, oh no. So I don't know how she determined where to draw the line on that, but whatever. Let me think. Actually, do I have one spacer that will take the place of those two? Let's see. Actually, I wonder how far out I can go. Maybe I will leave these little guys. I don't know what those came off of. Wait, did I not take two? Oh, man, I'm losing my mind. So we need two more longer screws. Let's see. What do we got? Anybody do anything fun this weekend? Basically all I did was chores, I feel like. Did anybody watch any? I'm guessing that if you watched any sporting event this weekend and any sort of news came on, maybe they covered the incident with the I'm gonna butcher saying this. The Oklahoma University Sooner Schooner. Woo. They've got like a covered wagon, I guess, that they drive around when they score or at halftime or something, and they flipped it over on the field. Did anybody see that? Ooh, how was the movie, Eric? Yes, Sean, there is a giveaway tonight. I don't know what it's going to be yet. However, I guess I should have said however before I said, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to stop talking. Just going to stop talking, and I don't know. Things are going to start happening to me now. Grill avoided a tornado. Oh, that's right. My thoughts go out to anyone that is up around Dallas that had to deal with the tornado. Man, that's too long. That's not cool shit, tornadoes. I'm not a fan. In my infinite analness, no one else would notice this, but one of my spacers is one of those old axial gray spacers. That's not happening. Gotta swap it out. So I don't really have the screws that I want right here. These are going to be crazy long. Actually, I can't run that. Gotta find the right length. Not because I'm being crazy, there's a reason, but everything has to fit together underneath the hood. Okay, I'm losing my mind. So if these are too long, right, this is too short, this is too long, I need something in between. I think all of my screws in here, are they all crazy long? No, that should be, that's what I need. Let's see. Right, yeah, I've never seen a wagon flip over like that. I mean, you know, I'm sure that's scary as hell for the people that are on it. It's not like there's seatbelts on those things, but I guess because, you know, maybe because no one was hurt, the announcers were kind of having fun with it. At least the coverage that I saw, and that just, maybe the way they put it together. I hate to admit that I was laughing at their misfortune. So I'm a bad person. What else is new? Welcome back. this was the one I pulled off, so I'm going to set it aside just in case I need it. Those were two that I decided are extra long, overly long. So I don't want to go too far past this on the inside. I want to be able to get my nut on, which means I think this will be a hair too short. Let's see. Well, I think for now, this is going to have to do. Man, I feel like that's just looks so unstable sticking out that far. May need to change this. I think that's like a 6mm spacer. May need to put something smaller in there. That's the wrong tool. Let's see. Nope, that's not to the nylon. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Curses. Need to get some spacers. Luckily, I think I know a guy with spacers. Just leave that one there. Okay, so we only need 2 of these. These are all long spacers. These are all my short spacers. Woohoo, fun with spacers. Spacer night. Yes, Sean, there is a giveaway tonight. There will be a giveaway pretty much every Monday night, but I never know what it's going to be until I decide. And I decide randomly because it's more fun that way. Well, this isn't really going to give me a whole lot. But you know what? I'm going to go with these shorter ones because I think these other guys, or 2 of them stacked up, just looks silly. Looks silly, and my screw is not long enough. My thing's not long enough. Oh, now we're bordering on family unfriendly. That's what she said. Okay, so this is 6mm together. So really, if I have just 2 6mm spacers, that would work. That's a gunmetal one. I know I've got some in the other room. Don't feel like going in the other room. Okay, this is what's gonna happen now. Use the gunmetal ones. Ugh. How was work, Eric? Sit back and relax. Yeah. Can you put a brace between the shock towers, screw the mounts into the brace to distribute the leverage the shocks would apply? Well, most people could. Sorry, Matthew asked a question. I don't know if I read it out loud or not, but Matthew wants to know if I can put a brace between the shock towers to distribute the weight. That's the gist of it. Damn, I said see? Oh, yes, I could. However, so when Wes built this truck, there's a couple of things that I'm gonna have to tweak. When he built this truck, he made the wheel wells really, I don't know if the wheel wells are narrow or if the chassis is narrow for the truck, whatever. But these are gonna have to come out and be moved in. These shock towers, because I put on longer ones, he built it for the short ones, which these longer ones are much longer. So I actually had to cut out part of the electronics tray that he has in here. The hood on this truck is actually functional, opens. He had this kind of sit-down recess for, I think the battery was the plan, maybe? Because, let's see, yeah, the motor's got to be sitting over there. So if I do a brace, I'm just gonna have to cut out more of this. I don't really want to cut out any more of it than I have to. I think this is gonna be plenty strong. If I was, you know, like racing this thing, rock bouncing, then I'd probably look at putting a brace in. But this is a class 0 with, you know, super tiny tires. And if I do something that bends this brace, then it was probably fun and worth it, and I'm okay with it. Yeah, that's what I'll say. But anyhow, so I'm just putting a spacer on this side first. I want to test to see if it solves my rubbing issue on that screw. 14-hour workday, man. I know what that's like. I'm on, let's see, I guess I'm at 12 hours, right? Because I've been working since 8 o'clock this morning, so I feel ya. I feel ya. Of course, I guess I did slow down at some point. What am I doing? Whew, man, all over the place. Oh, so that's that spacer. That's this screw. This goes through the shock. Yeah. Nope. Haha. Okay, let's see if that made it any better or if it's still catching. So with that down and that compressed, that's a little better. It's not, I mean, there's definitely still some, it's smiling just a little, but yeah, I need to have this light like back here. Maybe that'd be better. Is that better? I don't know if I ever blocked the light. Maybe the light needs to be brighter. I don't know. Anyway, so that's a little better. I still am going to, hopefully if I get into here, you guys can see this. I don't know if I put my hand there, if it'll kind of focus. That screw, where's the light? I don't know if you guys can see the screw that pokes out right behind the shock for the panhard drop mount. I'm going to swap that out for something like this, right? Flathead, so that it's nice and flush. That will solve that problem. So adding the spacers made it good enough that I think I could run it and it's not going to completely explode the shock, although it's not really good for it, but I will take care of it. I don't want to put too many spacers up top because having it stick way out, the shocks are going to be like that. Nobody got time for that. Am I running with stock tires? Mud thrashers. I didn't buy this truck brand new, so I don't know actually what some of the stock components were. Obviously the wheels are not stock because they're mine. Could you move the bottom of the shock out a bit? No, they only have one hole on here each side. I suppose I could take one of those offset rod ends, but I think when we steer, the arm, yeah, I mean the arm already hits the, yeah, the arm already hits the shock right there. Why does that happen? That's not what we want. I'm going to take the spacers off. Why do they have spacers right there? Oh Lord. Anyway, so the other thing, okay, so we're done with the spacers up here. There are some spacers. Try and get some light on this in a good way. Woo, just turning it all around. Man, it is tough to get this thing illuminated correctly. So there is a little spacer in here between the shock and the axle housing that I fear may be causing things to bottom out. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That just bottoms out immediately. That's no good. Can't have that. So definitely have to take those spacers off. I thought I'd be able to run these shocks, but man, the more I get into it, I'm I'm not sure. It's questionable. Questionable at best. I'm not going to be competing with this truck, so it's not critical, but I mean, I don't want it to suck to drive. What's up, Nick? Nick, tonight we're working on the TF2 K5 Blazer. Oh yeah, I forgot you do have the cones. One of these days I'll be able to get back out and go crawling again with you, and I will get those. Okay, so I need to figure out some way to make this situation better, because this is not better. So this is the closest approximation of the stock shock I could get. I don't know if the rod end on here is bigger. If that's causing it to poke out so much. No, not really. Nope. Just dropped something. What did I drop? The spacer that I'm removing. So that's okay. Which I guess now I don't need this crazy long screw. I guess, I don't know if you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. So they had the spacer. Okay, so the spacer was on there because otherwise I think the rod end is going to hit on the axle. So let me get a better look at this. Are these, man, what is the deal with this? So it looks like it's ground out a little, man. So if you have to have the spacer, man, somebody just throw me a bone here. How the heck am I supposed to run coilovers on the front of a TF2 when I have to have a spacer, but the spacer causes the steering arm to smack the lower rod end on the shock? Riddle me that, Batman. Anybody? Bueller? Now that spacer that I chucked in this box of randomness that I said I don't need, I need to find it. Because, you know, looking through a box of parts, super exciting. There you are, hiding under the flap, jerk. Get out of here. Anyway. What's up, Daniel? So, who else has run a TF2? Eric, I know you had one. Were you running coilovers on the front? And if so, how did you deal with the arm hitting the shock? Because that would just annoy the crap out of me. I mean, should I have, let's see if we can get in there so you guys can see this. Should I have this spacer in here? Yes, you can't. I don't know if you guys can make that out. Right here, little spacer. Don't know. Well, I guess I also don't know what the limitation on the internals are. As far as the, what are these? I don't know if these are CVDs or dog bones. I don't remember. Okay, if I take this out, just completely. Am I getting more throw? Where does it stop? Where's my stop? So what stops it now? It's got to be the internal. So then if I drop the shock in there, radiant. Okay, so that is max. Wow. Okay. Alright, alright. So it's not the shock that's stopping, that's limiting my throw. It's just limited throw. Hey, 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 what's that all about? You know, I'm going to, I don't know that that's going to make any difference. I'm going to spin this around. I mean, you know, what is that, a quarter of a millimeter? One side of the ball in the shock has a flange and one side does not. So I'm going to spin it around just to try to get it closer to the housing. See if it'll all still move. Let's see if I can justify what I've done. Yeah, no, see, that definitely hits the screw though, when the screw's in there. It's irritating. I feel like the shocks should be mounted on the back, which would mean all sorts of stuff has to move, which means drilling holes, which I was hoping to avoid. Man, killing me, Smalls. Get out the grinder. Yeah. I don't mind busting out a grinder, but I feel like somewhere, someone has encountered this very issue before, knows how to solve all of my problems. Let me see. So if my tie rod was on top, sorry, I forget that I moved the camera. Just thinking out loud. If I went to like a high steer, put my tie rod on top, then I think it might, well, no, I guess, yeah, it should clear these two screws, but then I'd have to move my servo up to keep the angle correct. That's going to be a whole mess of crap. Decisions. Well, my servo is already top mounted, so basically I'd have to move, and that'd be a big fat spacer. I don't know if it would even fit under the hood anymore. Curses. So that's 29. That, wait, see. So actually, I want to measure from there. That is 35. And that, no, that would still fit. May have to do that. But that will be a project for another night. Right now, I just kind of want to get the suspension to actually function, which I think the front's a little bit better on that side. I gotta put my spacer. I already put it on that side. I already did the front. Man, I need to lay off the crack. So the other problem that I noticed with this guy, pretty easy to fix, but anybody else that has a TF2 may or may not notice that if you compress this in the right way, it kind of sticks because somehow the shock will get wedged up against the leaf spring, and as you can see from the white marks in here, maybe you can see them, maybe you can't, I don't know, it's actually shaved some paint off. Lovely. So basically that tells me that I need to outboard these upper mounts a little bit. Luckily this is an easy fix. course, I say that about everything, but you know, then everything takes 4 times longer than I anticipate. This should not change really what's going on in the back a whole lot, to be honest, because the leaf springs are not the most supple things, but that is as I wanted. I was actually considering taking some of the leftover leaf springs and making kind of a, if you look at the way these things are put together, yeah, I'll go with that. You've got a pretty big gap right here. I mean, I'm not sure how durable these springs are, but I think I'd feel better about it if I had a longer intermediary leaf. So I may take the main leaf out of the front packs and cut them to be just coming out just a little bit further. I don't know. Might not though, because then I have spare main leaves, and if I do break one on here, I can swap it out. I'll have to think about that. What do you guys think? Keep the main leaf as a secondary backup, or should I cut it down to make this a little more rigid? Maybe have it sit up a little more, because I suspect that this thing is gonna be having a little bit of gangster lean. I'm not positive, but I suspect. If you don't know what I mean by gangster lean, you know, when you have pickup trucks that sit way high in the back. Around here in Texas, we call that cowboy lean, or at least some people do. And in New Orleans, where I grew up, when it sits up high in the front, we call it gangster lean. I don't know that I've ever actually heard someone in Texas say that, so I can't say that that's what they call it in Texas, because I don't know. But then we've got lots of other people from Texas on tonight, so maybe someone will educate me. Here I am doing things off camera again. So you guys gotta remind me. Pan down. So this body mounts the chassis in 4 spots. It's pretty cool. There's 2 screws back here. There's 2 back here, or there's 2 in the front. Not totally positive why he spaced them like that, but it's solid. It's not going anywhere. It's a nice tight fit. I'm just throwing 2 of them in right now because I want to test to see how the truck sits. Trying to reach in front of the camera. I almost made it. Almost cleared. I'm not even going to bother putting the wheel nuts on yet because this is all just going to come back apart, but I want to see how this is going to sit. Yeah, it definitely is up high in the front. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's not brutal. There's worse things. But a little high in the front, no big deal. I need to do a better job of knowing where things are in the camera. Uh-oh, I just do. I'll hit the mat. So, little high in the front. Not the worst I've ever seen. Not a whole lot of compression though. See, I feel like if I had slightly shorter shocks, I'd get, because it's almost, I mean, you know, because that's bottom. That's perfectly, I mean, that would be a nice level ride height. And if I let the shocks droop all the way with no weight, they do that. If I pull it down, it goes down a little further. That would be silly. It's just silly. Of course, I don't have the transmission in. I don't have a motor in, so I know it'll sit down a little more, but I kind of, man, I don't know. Even with moving the shocks up, I still think they're too long. I'm gonna have to buy different shocks. Damn it. 3D print some space age polymer additives. Matthew, the shocks are really long. I don't remember. We measured them in one of the earlier videos, but I don't remember what number we came up with. Woo! Look at that camera, just all over the place. Just trying to get it out the way so I don't smash it. As you guys know, I like to run into the camera all the time. Just makes me so happy. Is that even level? What do we got here? What's happening? Ooh, no, that's not level. That's sort of better. Man. There we go. Close enough. Whatever. Yeah. The shocks are crazy long. I don't remember. Maybe someone does. Guess it's the kind of things I should know. I want to say they were like 110 maybe? Something like that. Move the body back out of the way. Don't destroy it. Let's see, how long are these shocks? Proline scaler 80mm. Yeah, I may be interested in them. Print some lift blocks. Eric, it's funny that you say that because I already was looking at this thinking about how can I make some wedges, you know, blocks and or angle degree shims, all of that stuff, and U-bolts and U-bolt plates and all that, but I feel like someone has already come out with U-bolts and U-bolt plates. But my goal is not to have the whole truck sit up really high. I actually like the current ride height of the rear. I just want to get the front to match. I think 80mm shocks would be too short. These are a whopping, and I'm just going to ballpark because this is not fun to measure. I'm going to say these are, yep, 110. So let's see, probably 90s would be better, but they gotta be coilovers. Of course, I don't know. 90s, man, that might be too short. Where would that put me? That would get me an extra 20mm a bump, right? Well, maybe, give or take, something like that. Not exactly. No, it'd give me like an extra 10, right? Yeah, probably 90s. And then I may actually be able to use some of the different holes on here. So all of that may have been for nothing. Yay! Yeah. I make stuff and then I forget about it. I throw it in a box. Well, I don't know. I have to think here. Who makes a 100 or 90, maybe 95? I don't know if anybody's broken it down that far, but does anybody make a 90 or a 100mm coilover that actually works? There you go, 90 with long rod ends. Thank you, Matthew. That is a fantastic idea. Also make a custom transfer case mount and deflector. Well, the transfer case in here is actually custom mounted. It is one of our 4-link trusses that Wes used, and just he popped 2 holes in it, and hey, the transfer case bolts right up to it. Well, I mean, it doesn't bolt right up to it. He drilled holes in it, but it fits in there nice and tight. But actually, it's gonna be hard for me to get the angle correct. but it let's see, there we go. I think that's about it. It's tucked in there pretty well. It made me realize that I may actually use the upper hole for this and the, move both of these up so that I can lop this off, because I feel like it hangs down quite a bit now. I feel like that's asking to be scraped on something. That, or maybe I can just like make a wedge or something. I don't know. But then I just have more crap hanging down low, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Oh, man. Well, I think without different shocks, I got the back where I want it. The towers fit up in there. I think without changing out the shocks, until I figure out shocks, I think I have to set this aside, because so many different things can change with that, steering, all of that. Yep. Okay, so I think we're going to pause the TF2 build for now, and we are going to get into something a little more, I'm not going to say more fun, just different, because we've been working on the TF2 for I don't know how long, and it seems like it's little tiny tweaks, but that's how it always is, setting stuff up. So let's see, what do we want to do now? Somewhere I'm looking for stuff. I'm still here. Your computer has not frozen, but I am looking for something. Where did I put those damn things? Somewhere in this room. Let's get an Easter egg hunt. There it is. So I've been saving these. Bunch of parts. I have more of those somewhere too. Where did those go? Here we go. So I am sure most of you have seen these SSD axles, which apparently you can't get anymore. And some of the projects that I have, so these are the SSD D60s. I found one metal front cover and some bearing caps for the inside. I have to. I feel it is my responsibility as an adult. So that's a big deal. It is my responsibility as a adult man, child boy, to put those axles on something. So I'm going to run our different options past you guys, and I want to know which truck you think we should put those on. So let's see. I'll start with, woo! Man, I got so many old SCX10s. It's sad. This one's maybe a little dusty. Oh, look. I spelled Eric's name on it because this used to be Eric's. I didn't do a good job spelling his name. Man, that's dusty. So I have 4 of these that I think I'm considering putting those housings on just for fun. We've got Eric's old Mog. I do have a hard body for this as well that needs to be painted, but I have not gotten there yet. This looks like it's got an old Hand Brothers 3-link. Obviously that'd be pretty easy. I mean, it's a cool looking truck. Lots of metal on this. The fenders are metal. Nice metal bed. Everything's like boat sided. Yeah, maybe we'll put a wheel on there too. Let's soup it up. There's no interior or anything. The shocks work. Look, they don't run into things. So we've got the Unimog. It's option 1. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and move this way out of the way, because otherwise I'm going to smash it with something by accident. We'll just back this up a hair. You guys can see all the trucks that we have available. Okay, maybe you can't see them all because I still can't figure out where the side of the camera is. Whee! There we go. Unimog. Then we have another crazy custom creation. The VUC. I don't know how many of you guys will remember the VUC. This was a Devlin Shipley creation. And Devlin, I don't remember if he won Scale Nationals with this. Had to be top 3 at least. So we've got Devlin's VUC, which was the first, I think he was the first one to take the RC 4-wheel drive Noda body. You can see, you know, some of the old body work has cracked. But honestly, for the theme, or maybe not the theme, with the way this thing was built, it all kind of fits in. And then, man, he's got a baby in here that is like being choked or something. I don't know if you guys can see. It's not seat belted in. It's got a noose around its neck. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got the VUC. This has a locked up RC CMS kit on it, so that would also make it easy. We've got, oh god, this thing's heavy and clean, so clean. We've got my original SCX10 H2. God, I need to put a whole new body on this thing. It is just trashed. So this guy has what, full interior and some dust. This I did win Scale Nationals with, so that is another option. And then the last option is going to be, oh, woo, knocking lights around. The last option is going to be the King Gero. So this thing, oh, where did this come from? This came from Dan. And I had Steve redo the body because it got trashed, because someone basically drove it off a cliff. So we've got a fleet. Does this count as a fleet of SCX10s? Matthew, if you're interested, send me a PM, because I would actually sell this to you, because I know A, it would be going to a good home, but B, man, I got 4 original SCX10s, and it's a lot, because I can't drive them all. I will never sell this one, because it was like the first one that I built and I won Scale Nationals with it. I don't want to sell Eric's MOG, which I don't really want to sell any of these, but if you're interested in the VUC, let me know, because, you know, as new trucks come out, I have to sell some of my trucks to make space so that I can buy them and build parts for them. So you guys, oh, you need the white truck? King Gero. I've actually had this for sale before. This truck is actually, I think Dan, let's see, Dan and I both drove this truck at Scale Nationals when it was in Washington, and I think I got 3rd or 2nd, and he got like 4th or 5th. Only because I didn't have a truck for Class 2, he let me drive this. It was the first time I drove it, and we were neck and neck in points, and then he he forgot to change the battery out after I drove it. And he died on the course. I felt so bad. Otherwise, he may have beat me. I don't know. But yeah, this thing is super extra custom. Full interior. It's mostly made out of foam, so it's super light. He like sectioned the front and narrowed it. It's a pretty slick truck. Eric actually redid. Eric, I don't remember if he redid the front or the rear or both, but Eric redid the shock hoops. We had everything blasted, and then I don't remember if we just painted it. I don't know what we did. I think we painted it. But yeah, man, I love this truck. It's got a cool dash. I mean, this is, you know, handmade stuff. It's not lighting up very well because I don't have the light in a good spot. But let's see. There we go. That should be better. Anyway, really cool truck. I do like all of these trucks. But anyway, I digress. I got distracted. You guys let me know which one of these trucks you want me to put the SSD axles on. I am thinking, actually, any of these would be good candidates. The Pajero may be the best candidate because, yeah, I don't know. I'm torn, so I don't know what I want to do. Rear tube work. That's right. Okay, thank you, Eric. Couldn't remember. Woo! No, Sean, you did not miss how to enter the giveaway. I have not decided what the giveaway was going to be yet. I guess I should because I've been babbling for almost an hour. Let's see. So I have like a box of goodies, but some of these things are actually... Let me see. You guys prefer a giveaway for some... I've got... Well, let me think. I've got lots of scale interior parts. We already gave away a steering wheel. Got some gear shifters. And then I have some AR60 differential covers. Put the axles on the MOG. I will never do that rear hoop ever again. Yeah. 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 It's awesome. You did a great job, Eric. It looks good. I know that was hard to do. Man, I can't talk. Let me see. Who's got a TRX4? Does anybody have a TRX4? Let me know. I'm still looking for something. I'm still here. Nothing has frozen. So I think, let's see, what can we do for a giveaway? Well, as always, or not as always, but the new as always for our giveaways is going to be, if you'd like to win something, whatever it's going to be, you need to have liked the Locked Up RC Facebook page. So that's step one. Step two is going to be on Facebook, share this video. You can share it to your timeline. You can share it to a group. I do ask, though, that if you share it to a group, please share it to a group of people that actually might be interested in watching it. So please don't share it to, like, I don't know, the Blue Jay Watcher Association of North America or something like that. Anyway, that's how to enter. So you can actually do that now while I look around for something fun to give away. Actually, before I do that, I need to put some trucks away so that I don't knock more things over. You know what? I guess I don't have to give away one thing. I guess I can pick a winner and let them choose what they want. Maybe that's the most logical thing to do. So, I've got some things from Shapeways that I will let the winner choose from. And again, this is just stuff I'm pulling out of my box of goodies. So I've got a couple of different gear shifters for interiors. So that one would be good for like probably like a 6x6 because it's pretty long. We also have this short, like Italian sports car looking. Hey, you know what? How about I can do this? Woo! Somebody's closer. I don't even remember what that's from. But yeah, I do. Happy Gilmore. What am I saying? So I've got a couple of different gear shifters, and there's probably more in there. Just different styles. These are all available on our Shapeways store. Oh look, another steering wheel. I forgot to give that one away too. So several different shifters. I've got some, what we got here? So we've got some, so this is a replacement fuel tank for a TRX4, and that's a single one. And basically, I don't know if I'll be able to get the angle right on this at some point. There you go. So basically, you take this little knob, slice it off, poke it in the hole. Or we have a double. And then the last thing on the list of, oh, I'm kidding, that's not the last thing, there's lots more. We also have some, you know what, I'll give these away in tandem. We have some jerry can mounts, so if you wanted to add this jerry can to whatever your build is, right? So this would work with your factory TRX4 one, or you could just pick up another one from our store. And the way these mounts work, so we have two styles. So this guy bolts to the back with these two holes. And this guy bolts on this way, so it sits back a little bit further, right? So two different styles of those. Let's see. Oh, what else is in this box of fun? I've got, I have a lunchbox FI spool that I can give away. I have two of those. And there was, and the other thing I have is for anybody that has some AR60s, if you're interested. So before we actually made our 14-bolt diff covers for the AR60, these were some prototypes. And these were just handmade prototypes that have been drilled, so just saving you a little bit of time. And I will load these up with some, or I will include whatever color M2x1 screws you would like. These will go in. So they just dress up your diff cover. If you want to know what that looks like, I think if you look on our YouTube page, I think our cover photo at the top, I think the picture might be of these mounted to the axle. So anyway, so to enter the giveaway, I need you to, again, like our Facebook page and share this video either to your timeline or an appropriate group. Whoever wins, I will give them their choice of, let's say, two of the things up here. Yeah, I think that's it. So that will be the giveaway for this week. It'll be winner's choice. hope that works for you guys. Long throw shifter, yes sir. So that should do it for tonight. Let's see, I don't think I'll have shocks for that TF2 next week, but we may have something else to do on it. Before next week, I will pick whichever SCX10 we're going to put our SSD D60 housings on, and honestly, that will probably be the episode for next week, is installing those on one of our SCX10s, or maybe something else. I don't know. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We did get in. If you have not joined the Axial Capper group that we sponsor, you may want to do that. Man, I need to find a better way to adjust my camera. Because in that Axial group, we are giving this away. So in order to win that, you just have to be a member of the Axial Capper group. You'll know that you're in the right group because I believe they have the main announcement post, whatever, pinned saying, hey, Locked Up RC is giving away a Capra. On the same vein of ideas, Jackie here in the office is going to be building. We've got 2 of these in the shop right now. One we're going to give away. Jackie's going to build the other one right here on this desktop. I'm hoping to get her started on that build this week. It should be really interesting because she has never built an RC. And I don't think has she driven one? I don't know. I don't know if she's driven one. But Jackie helps us out. She ships out your orders, so she knows what all of our parts are. But she has never built a kit, and I think having her build the latest kit will be pretty cool. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. Watch her have some fun with that. Let's see. Welcome, Dustin. Welcome, and at the same time, pretty much goodbye, because you have joined us at the very end of the show. Now that's okay. Just having fun. So let's see. So we'll have Jackie's Capra build. We're gonna have. We got our giveaway done. We're gonna do the SCX10 SSD stuff. What else is on the project list coming up? I believe we need to replace the winch controller in the TRX4. We need to put a winch on the Red Cat, and something must be done with the Wraith. But we'll get to those things in the future. Anyway, yeah, you guys feel free to comment, send me a PM, whatever. Let me know which SCX10 you would like to see those axles on. And if I don't get like an overwhelming majority of people wanting them to go on one of the trucks, I will pick one. Yeah. So I think that's going to do it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in again. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.